What's up, Soil Brothers and Soil Sisters? We have a chat, y'all. Good morning, Soil family. So, today is Monday, our normal Monday morning garden chat here at Black's Tropical. I am doing something, we are doing something a little different this morning. We decided to collaborate with our beautiful soil sister over at Andale Homestead because, as you all know, we are all in the path of some pretty scary storms. So I thought it would be good if we talked about how we prepare and things that can better prepare everyone for these storms, because we definitely want everybody to be safe, of course, and prepared. You know, I always say stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared. So I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Again, I want to thank y'all for all the birthday wishes and congratulations and all the love and support. Y'all are absolutely amazing. I'm not going to hold my guest up, who is in the back waiting. So let's bring her up from Andale Homestead.
Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Bright
So
and early.
we are a whole lot different this morning. We are streaming to Black's Tropical here on YouTube and on Facebook. And we
Yes.
are also streaming to Andale Homestead here on YouTube and on Facebook.
Yes. How about that? Technology is amazing. It's
It's
just amazing to
amazing.
me.
So I'm gonna let you have the floor for a minute, because so in the chat, I'm not sure how you see it on your end, but if it says paired, that's coming from Andale Homestead.
Okay. I do
You
see
can
some paired
see,
over here because this is all new to me. I see Broke Farmer saying, look at there, Broke. I'm having some
your
coffee
internet
out of your
cousin.
cup this morning. I
Yeah,
do see paired, but there's a lot of friends that are coming from Facebook and YouTube that are also on Black's Tropical Homestead. So maybe I'll just say paired is because we're good buddies and
that's
everybody's
right.
coming in.
Had an awesome soil family paired together.
That's right. That's right. And
So I'm
well,
gonna let
Sherry,
you
yeah.
talk for a minute.
Oh, well, okay, good. Good morning, everyone. Sherry approached me the other day and said, Ann, I would really like to team up with you to be able to get the word out, especially in this time right now, while it's so strong on our minds of preparing for hurricanes or tropical storms or just things that you have around your home in case a truck hits telephone pole or you have some high winds. We have had high winds that have come out and wiped our electric lines coming to our home completely out, and we were without of electricity for 3 or 4 days, something like that. So that's what we're doing. I want to thank everyone for being here. Really, seriously, thank you.
Yes, most definitely. The growing up, I grew up in Virginia, and this is the storms are way different. You know, by the time they get to Virginia, they normally have slowed down, but very strong still.
Yes.
So we would get a lot of rain and a lot of winds for a long period of time.
Right.
Versus now, living in the South, I live in Georgia, and it kind of blow through pretty fast if we get anything. Savannah
Right.
has been blessed, so we really don't get too much
Yeah.
of
Well, let's hope.
storm.
Let's
Yeah,
hope
but
with
we
this
do get,
Eon, Ian, I think is what they're calling it.
yeah,
But the path is pretty wide. And regardless if this storm skirts by us or fizzles out before it gets to us, there are some things that we still need around the house all the
yes,
time, just in case.
yeah, and even in your car, you know.
Yes.
And I was talking to you this morning about how so many people move around. People have moved from up north to the south and vice versa, or from out west to the east coast, and all the things that you
Yes.
just don't prepare for because
Right.
moving from up north, you thinking, oh, it's gonna be sunny and beautiful and warm, and then boom, here come hurricane season.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
so
I hate Psalm 146.
even to help those that are relocating or traveling to the south
Right.
to retire, I think it's important to have certain things in your house, certain things in your car, because you may have to evacuate also.
Right, right. You may have to evacuate. You don't ever know. So you need to have some things that are ready. I see everyone in the chat, y'all. We do want to say hello to everybody, but with 4 streams going at the same time, we do see you, care about you tremendously, and
Yes.
after it's over, we'll be going back and hitting likes and
Check.
everything. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate everything that is going on. Um, and Sherry, um, we have what we do. See if I can speak in a coherent sentence, okay? When we first start preparing for winds or high winds to come,
Mhm.
we begin to clean up the yard. You get plants that are sitting around in pots, anything that can be a projectile that could
Yes.
potentially injure your home. I mean, it's
Yes.
one thing, they're kind of out there doing their thing when they're planted in the ground. There's not a whole lot you can do about that, at least
True.
that we can do about that. But anything that is loose that could potentially fly up and break a window or break a door or something, we try to secure. You and Bobby. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine.
So for us to prepare, we watch the weather very close as
Yeah.
long as we can. I'm not too big on evacuating. I know I can remember twice we had to evacuate, and
Yeah.
the first time I stayed home. I stayed home. I was single at the time, and I decided I lived in a townhouse, so I decided, well, let's get everything I may need upstairs: coolers, charcoal, food, perishable items, medicine, tons of water and ice, everything. Let's get it upstairs. That way, if it flood, at least I have some things to live for a couple days upstairs. But we also had things like knives and axe, because safety is an issue.
Right. You may have to beat your way out.
Yeah, and I was thinking, what if I had to cut myself out of the house or go through the roof? I need something to be able to go through the roof. So we brought everything up on higher ground. So if it flooded and I was trapped in the house, I still had a plan. I
Right.
had a plan. And it was so funny because in the backyard, in the back of my townhouse, we had a pool, and it was for the entire community. And the next morning after the storm blew through, which I hate when they blow through at night because you can't see anything.
Yes. Yeah. That always stinks.
When I woke up, it was a little float, a shark at my front door.
Oh, oh my
And I
goodness.
said, that was God's way of saying, don't worry, I got you.
That's right. Yes.
So that to me, thinking of all the ways you have to prepare, I knew the power may go out, and it may go out until my food it'll go bad. So what do I do with
Yes.
all this food? So I made sure I had tons of charcoal, which I brought upstairs. So the next morning the power was out. I cranked that grill up and I was able to eat for days. Keep the refrigerator and freezer closed so it doesn't melt so fast. And
Right.
it's just little things, filling your tub with water and all the sinks just in
Yes.
case.
Yeah. Filling the tubs and the sinks with water.
Yeah,
That's important.
yeah.
When you're
But I
talking
don't
about
care for
yeah.
evacuating. But now that we have over 200 plants and a lot are in pots, we keep a lot of the mango and we keep a lot of plants in pots. So what we'll have to do now is bring them inside the garage to protect as many plants as we can. We didn't put up greenhouse yet because of hurricane season.
Right.
We decided
Very
just
smart.
to wait. Yeah,
Yeah.
so in a couple weeks we will get that up, but right now we'll just have to bring everything as much as we can inside the garage, and it'll probably take an whole day to get prepared. So we watch it
Oh my
super
gosh.
close so that we can be prepared when it's time.
Yes, it will. And I can't imagine because I mean, I've got a pot out there on the far end of the yard that's only about this deep, but it's one of those big gallon grow bags.
Yeah,
I can't move that thing.
yeah,
I mean, the soil in there is solid. And Worth and I both, we laughed at each other when we tried to move it. So we're going to have
yeah.
to empty it out in order to be able to move it. Well, that thing is not going to be moved for the storm because it ain't going anywhere.
It
I
ain't
mean,
going
that's,
nowhere.
yeah,
Yeah. And like you said, it's important to make sure anything that can move, even your trash can, get it
right,
somewhere where it's out of harm's way, because you don't want the wind blowing anything even through your windows.
right.
So you
You
want to
don't.
move things.
Now, they have also learned, people say when you have big winds that are coming through to crack your windows. Now, don't listen to me. Y'all Google it. That is no longer the right thing to do
Yeah.
because what they have discovered is that when you have your windows cracked open, the air comes in and builds a pressure and poof, blows your roof off.
Yep.
So it's better. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it if they break, but it's better to have them closed
Yeah.
in the studies that they have done. So, Sherry, let's talk to begin with about some things, some water. We had talked about, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
we had talked about filling up the tubs, filling up the sinks.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if you live in an apartment or a condo, the pool is right on, baby, to be able to get
Yeah.
some water to flush your toilets and things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
But we did have, this is something that I had not shared before, but this
Hey.
is a collapsible water storage cube
Wow.
and it has a little spout on it. I have to open it so I can get it open because they're not real easy. They're not real friendly when everything's over and you empty them out and trying to dry them because you don't want to dry them with the water still in them. And but you fill it up with water, and the water pressure will make these little dents and things go out.
Come out.
But you
Mm-hmm.
can just leave this on your counter, and it has a little water spout on it.
Yeah.
And that is something that was a big deal for us because with Worth and I mean, last week I went out and got extra water bottles, extra water gallons, things like that, because by now the stores will be wiped out here. We
Yeah.
just have one grocery store
Wow.
and one grocery store within about, that one's 5 miles away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ones are probably 15 miles on either side. And I don't want to drive 15 miles there and find out that they're out of water.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. True.
and hey, everybody, I see so many wonderful people
Yes.
here.
Good
And
morning. I did see somebody mention a water catchment system. Water
yes,
catchment systems are great. I think it was Sarah, maybe on Facebook, but she mentioned water catchment system. We do have a rain barrel right here. We keep it close to the house because we water things on the porch with it mainly, but that is a great idea because you may need it not just for your plants, but for yourself.
that's right. That's exactly right. Now, we went through, I think I've talked about Isabel so much, but it was in 2000. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was 22 years ago, but it was devastating here,
Yeah.
really. And it was the first time I had ever been through a hurricane that was so bad. And I
Yeah.
think it was 2000, maybe 2005. But in a, we decided to stay because it was a cat 2, which is normal, but we
Yeah.
didn't realize what side of the storm we were on.
Yeah.
And
That
we
makes a
were
difference.
Yeah, and we were on the east side of it instead of the west side. We're used to being on the west side of a hurricane, and we were on the east side, and that makes a big difference. My little house had trees. The Lord is so good because I had trees. You couldn't see my house from any
Wow.
direction. There were trees down all the way around it and
Wow.
taller than my home. The trees were,
Wow.
and not one came through my house. So
That's a blessing.
we, we had this
That's a
little
blessing.
bubble of protection. Luckily, we only had one death in the county during the storm.
Mhm.
And it was a young woman, which was very sad. They were trying to get out, and a tree fell on the car.
Oh,
They were falling like matchsticks here.
yeah.
But the story, the moral of that story, what it taught me is we were without water for 2 weeks. We were without electricity for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Now, water, because we have the creek in the backyard,
Hmm.
we were still able to flush the toilets and things like that. Water was a big deal. The National Guard moved in, started handing out gallons of water, 5-gallon jugs of water, things like that. We made out pretty good in the water. Electricity, we didn't have a generator at the time,
Yeah.
but our neighbors did. And so what they would do is we would move it from house to house to try to keep the freezers going.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where you didn't have gas. So we, everybody in the neighborhood cooked everything they had.
For each other. Yeah. Yeah. That, I mean, and that's what's so important about community and knowing your neighbors
Yes,
because you can come together at a time like that and help each other,
that's
you
right.
know. So, and 9 times out of 10, these storms will destroy your garden that's outside. So you
Yeah,
really can't depend on that, but you can
right.
definitely depend on each other to make things happen. But that same storm in Virginia, we were out for 11 days,
Yeah.
no power. And we had to learn how to live with no power. I
Hmm.
mean, you can prepare for it, but until it happened,
Right.
you are not prepared because then it's like, okay, the power is out. The first few hours are okay,
Yeah.
but after that, it becomes, oh my God. So we would get up when it's light outside, and that's when you start moving. It's good to know how to navigate your house at night
Yes.
because if you're anything like us, we walk to the bathroom all night. You
Right.
sleep. So you want to know how to get through your house in the complete dark.
Yes.
So we would
Yes.
get up during the day, and all day we are up doing what we need to do. The kids are outside playing, but soon as it started getting dark, it's time to lay down. I mean, we just
Right.
had to
It
learn
is.
that you sleep in the dark and you up in the day.
Well, blessedly, I was able to, at that time, I had purchased some battery operated fans.
Hmm.
It was during the month of September, and so it was a little cooler. It was, the weather was very cooperative, which was
Yeah.
such a blessing because it didn't continue to rain and rain and rain because we
Hmm.
had all our windows and doors open, with no air conditioning. The thing is, your house molds like really quickly, your house
Yeah.
molds. So it's important to try to keep some airflow going of some
Yeah.
sort to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
So we have water that we talked about, light.
Light.
I
Yes.
can't tell you how many
Candles.
times I turned on the bathroom light switch to have to
And nothing
be in
happened.
the dark.
Surprise. Yeah. Candles. I keep a lot of candles, but I try not to burn them during the night. I just learn how to navigate home. Like Bobby and I could walk around this house with our eyes closed. But
Right.
when you need candles, you need candles. So
Yes,
what do
you
you
do.
have for candles?
Right. Well, the thing about this particular candle, I just got a can of Crisco. You can get any kind of generic brand or
Hmm.
anything like that. We use some of this because we cook with cast iron so often. And you can fry potatoes and fish and hush puppies, and you can use it for frying. But I saved a little jar. I've shown this once before where it's just a little jar. My fingers, my arthritis is so bad. And I crammed the Crisco in here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like if you get caught short and you got some lard in your house,
Oh
you
yeah.
can still do this. This is a birthday candle that I trimmed down to fit in the jar. These candles are supposed to last for something like 7 days, which is crazy.
7
And
days.
at the same time, when it gets heated up, you can use it to cook with if you need
Yeah.
to. If you need some sort of something on your cast iron pan that you're putting on the grill, that kind of thing. So this is something that you wake up, you've got no electricity, there's been a storm, that big freeze that happened in Texas.
Oh
I was
yeah.
on the phone with a friend of mine, and she had some candles, but they were decorative, scented candles that she just had around the house a little bit. I said, "Girl, go get you some lard, some Crisco, some shortening,
Mm-hmm.
and put it in a jar. Get yourself a cotton string. You can use a shoestring that's cotton. You can use, I've got some candle wicks just for this purpose that I purchased,
Yeah.
but anything that is cotton twine that you use to tie things up. If it's
Mm-hmm.
cotton, you can take a stick and stuff it down in the middle, and then you've got a wick for the candle, which is
Yeah.
great. Plenty
Yeah.
of chargeable flashlights and solar generators. That's right, broke.
Yep.
Um, because we have those kinds of things. This is a solar charger that I have. If you have animals inside, please put candles where they can't get to them. Absolutely. You know, I don't think any of us prefer candles. It's
Yeah.
we prefer lights and flashlights and things like that because we know how dangerous the candles can be.
Yeah.
Um, but this is it's a solar charger. You can also charge it in the wall. It has a little place there where you can use to charge it, but it can charge
Mm-hmm.
a cell phone, two cell phones, or a cell phone and a tablet. Has a little compass on the back. I try to keep this in the car with me as much as possible. Set it up on the dashboard, and then I had somebody tell me that it wasn't a good idea to shine. But see, there's the flashlight
Yeah.
that it
That's a
comes
good
with,
light.
and it blinks too. So, oh, I'm sorry, Dawn. She doesn't like flashing lights, and a lot of other people don't like flashing lights. Anyway, so this is a solar charger. There's another that I showed the other day, but it is a charger. It just has one charger, but
Mm-hmm.
you can plug it up to the wall. It looks like it has another charger for the new kind of cell phone
Yeah.
chargers, those
Yeah. It has different
low
plugs.
flat ones. And this one winds. So it's hand crank, no batteries, no solar, no nothing. And I
That's the
really
best.
like this because I learned that no matter how many batteries you have, after 3 weeks, they ain't lasting very long. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
have 5 buckets full of, and this has a light as well. Can't have 5 buckets full of batteries. I mean, those things are expensive and they go bad if you don't use them. So,
Yeah.
anyway, and I've got some other chargers as well. I have charged all these up. I got, Sherry, when we were thinking about this storm coming,
Mm-hmm.
and I started gathering all the things in the house, trying to get them all in one place so it would
Mm-hmm.
be easy access. I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't charged those cell
And
phone
forever.
chargers up. I haven't charged them up in a long time. And
Yeah.
it don't do me any good at all. Sitting in the
We
closet.
always forget to charge those little things. And then, you definitely have to have a mental note to remember to charge them all
Right.
because you never know when you'll need them. But we do get in a bad habit of not keeping them charged.
Well, what it is to me, and the way that happens to me is I get in a mental state of saying, "Well, I got that, I'm good," and put it on a mental shelf, you
Yes.
know, and then not actually use it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
And
it hurt when you get caught off guard and you have
right,
all the right things. You just don't have them in the right place on the
that's
no
right. And
charge, no anything. So yeah,
so I
definitely
like
keep
the wind up one because I can.
yes
You can also charge your chargers
with that.
with the wind up and or the solar. So I like the solar and I like the wind up because I can potentially, and all of these can be charged in your car, but what if you don't have any gas? And those people in Texas, that the way that a lot of them died was charging their phone in their car,
Mm,
and the snow covered the tailpipe,
yep.
and they died from carbon monoxide,
Carbon
and that
monoxide
was
poisoning.
so sad, so
Yeah.
terribly sad.
Yeah. So I thought this conversation would be great now because it's the little things that, like we said, it's a mental note, but it's in the back of your head. So because the sun is shining, it's so nice outside right now. It's not really a thing, but it is a thing. So, and then for people like me who never watch the news, thank God Bobby has been watching the weather a lot over the weekend where I'm just like, oh, oh, okay. So let me pay attention a little bit more. But, you want to definitely make sure you have everything in one spot. Put them
That's
all
right.
in a tote. That
Oh,
way,
yeah.
if you can keep it from getting wet, or one
Yes,
thing is in one room and something is over here, and you never know. You may need to get out of the house. So at least you have that one tote to worry about that can be sitting in your car or sitting at the door and you can grab it on the way out.
that's right. That's right. Yes, because you don't ever know when you have to pick up and go. You have to pick up
Yeah.
and go. And as far as cooking, we all have the little tea lights, or you need to have the little tea lights. They're cheap and you can cook with them. You can heat. There was a time when we got a freak freeze and the
Mhm.
electricity went out here in North Carolina. That's very unusual. And the heat went out, and I put these around a clay pot, like a
Mhm.
ceramic pot, and it heated the room for us because
Wow.
we do have a wood stove, but we had not cleaned it out because I haven't used it in so long with my
Yeah.
allergies and things like that.
Yeah.
This time we're going to have it cleaned out whether we use it or not, you
That's
know,
right. Just in case.
because we have that mentality of, I got a wood stove. I'm good. We can't
Yeah.
use it if it's all clogged up with
Yeah.
creosote. You set your house
And I'm
on fire.
glad you I'm glad you mentioned allergies because medication is very important,
Yes.
especially when you have a tropical storm, tropical depression, or a hurricane, something rolling around out there, snowstorm coming. Try to get at least 2 weeks worth of meds
Yes.
to carry you over. Most people usually have about a month, but I know sometimes when you get low, you waiting, and you can reach out to your pharmacy and ask them, hey, I know it's 2 weeks before I'm supposed to get my meds, but the storm is coming and I want to make sure I'm stocked up. Most of them will honor that and make sure you have your meds, because if they start evacuating Florida today or tomorrow, all of Florida is coming north. They will head kind of west, but they coming north and then I head out west. Well, if they
Right.
start evacuating Georgia behind them, this is why evacuation is not on my list, because I don't like sitting in traffic for eight
No.
hours to travel 2 hours down the road. So to me,
Yeah.
I'm safer just hunkering down at home, getting prepared, get on higher grounds. Our main thing is we have these 100-foot trees that surround our house on one side. So if anything, I talked to some friends yesterday and we will go and hang out and have a big old house party with
Yeah.
friends where we are safe from trees and flooding. The
Right.
house is in a higher elevation in town.
Yeah.
So it's so many things that play that you really don't think about until it may be too late. So
Yeah. Until you have to, um, until you have to. Period.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Also, I have talked, and I probably talked about this every single time. There are a lot of people that have gotten these little pills of water purifying, and I thought I was covered when I bought these little it's water purification pills.
Hmm.
It's a two-step process because I thought, "Oh, I've got 2 bottles." Well, no, it's a two-step process. It's portable aqua water purification Germa something 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 something. And then the water purification plus. I tried that, and I tried it on 2 glass jars of rainwater. They were the exact same bucket, everything was the same. I put it in there. You're supposed to shake it up, let it wait for a few minutes, and then you add the second one and you let it wait for 30 minutes. There was no difference in the looks of those jars. I
Mm,
could tell you. And I would not have drank that water unless I was dying. And,
yeah,
you know, what I'm saying is it can't hurt, but don't think I thought I was covered. Don't
yeah,
think you're covered just from these little pills because I'm not.
yeah, yeah. So those tablets compared to um the life straw.
Yes, the life straw I got that right over here. Now, this has its own filter. This is a life straw, and it is supposed to be good for 500. So it says the shelf life is 5 years. Filters up to 4,000 liters, which is 1,056 gallons, is what it says. Outdoor survival. And you can wear it around your neck so you can keep it
Hmm.
with you if you're hiking or whatever. Has a straw that goes in the bottom of it, and you're supposed to be. I'm not going to worry with it right this minute because my fingers hurt. My arthritis hurts this morning, so it's going to be crooked. But it has a little spout on the end of it. These are not cheap. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're not cheap, but they can be life saving.
but they can be life saving. And so you always are able to drink out of, I mean, this will be different because you can go to a mud puddle and put the straw in the mud puddle. This filter will take it out. Of course, your filter is probably not going to last as long if you
Yeah,
need to do that. What I would suggest is you get a bucket of water and try to strain it the best you could,
yeah,
and then drink out of it.
yeah,
But you can, if you're caught in the woods or you're caught um, somewhere out hiking, or you're caught, your car's run off the road, or you've got a flat tire and
yep,
things are coming along and you've got to walk like in a desert.
yeah. Grab that straw.
Yeah, grab the straw and stick it around your neck. So,
Yeah.
you
So
know,
food is definitely important
yes.
because Bobby has gotta have his food. I mean, we all need food to keep our strength up, but and to keep our brain powered.
Good,
So
Brooke.
we definitely
Yeah.
want to have enough food to feed our family.
Yes.
But
Now,
we have to think
Sherry,
about animals too.
and for the animals, absolutely. I'm
Yeah,
excited for you because you all have the freeze dryer that now your food lasts 25 years. And
25 years.
if you preserve it properly, put it in
Yeah,
the mylar bags and stuff like
nowadays.
that.
Yep, and I didn't
I
bring any of that in, but yeah.
Okay.
So my thing, Bobby and I had conversations about preserving food. Of course, we've learned how to can. We did the canning collaboration for a whole month so that we can learn safe and proper way to can, because
Yes.
I was afraid of canning, totally afraid of canning. Once we did this collaboration, Bobby and I decided, okay, let's just get a canner and go for it. And we have been canning. And then I would think about, well, what if the power go out and it's 100 degrees outside, and I know that my jars need to be stored in a cool, dark place, and I really
Yeah.
don't have a cellar or anywhere to be able to store them. Even our bed has drawers under it, so you can't slide anything under one of
Oh,
them beds.
okay.
So a lot of things worry me. The jars will be sitting in the heat. It'll be 120, 130 degrees in the house. So what am I going? I'm gonna be afraid to feed this to my dogs or my husband and myself. So what are we gonna do for food? So we decided, okay, let's go ahead and invest in a freeze dryer. It's an investment. It's a
Yeah.
huge investment, but it can be a life-saving investment, not just for us, but so many. So we freeze dry a lot of our foods, which we have a series that will start basically tomorrow. Every Tuesday, we'll put out a video of freeze drying foods. We'll start reconstituting. Right now, I'm just getting stuff out of the freezer because I
Yes.
had so much stuff stocked up. Tropical fruit that I had been saving, dog treats that I made from where we processed pigs out. I was able to make dog treats for the dogs. So I will put out a video every week for all these different videos. And eventually we will show that you can freeze dry an entire meal and reconstitute it and see how it tastes. But I don't worry so much like I do with canning about the safety of the food after it's sitting in extreme heat or extreme cold. So, but
Right.
I still think canning is important and dehydrating. So all of them should be
Yeah. Canning,
learned and
dehydrating,
cultivated.
all of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's all important.
yeah,
And I'm excited. I'm really excited to be able to share or to learn through you and Bobby in your freeze drying experience. Because,
yeah,
I mean, we all want one. We might not all get one, but gosh, if we could do that, then there's a potential, as in like the storm when all my neighbors got together and we all cooked everything we had. You'll
yeah,
have something that potentially you can share and help with other people. It's
yeah,
it's not just about us hoarding for 25 years. It's
yeah.
about being
Helping,
self-sustainable and at the same time potentially helping other people.
helping the community.
It's
And it's
huge.
not just, the thing with freeze drying, there is a link, Donna. I'll make sure I leave it in the comment. I mean in the description. The thing with freeze drying is nothing that you can't freeze dry. You can freeze dry anything.
Oh,
So
isn't that crazy? Oh, you got a super sticker. Isn't that cool?
I think
It
that's on
looks
your
like it.
side.
Oh,
It's pad, so that's on your side. Healthy G
oh,
Mom.
well, I think she meant because it's for Big Red Heart dog squeezing. I think. Well, we'll talk about that. Anyway,
um,
that's very kind.
but you can freeze dry anything, foods, and we'll show this because this week I'm making lemonade. So, and I want
That's
to
so
show people
awesome.
how you can make lemonade, and it's so much healthier,
Right.
compared to if you grow your own lemons or oranges. You can do so much with it. You can freeze dry ice cream. I'm gonna show y'all
That's
how
crazy.
we waste milk all the time because we don't
Yeah.
drink milk. So the only time milk is gonna do us some good is if we making macaroni and cheese or something, or if Bobby get in the mode where he really want a lot of cereal. But other than that, we just waste. So we
Yeah.
decided, okay,
Understand.
let's freeze dry some milk and show y'all how we can preserve milk for 25 years if
Oh my
needed, but
gosh.
at
My
least we
brain
will
is
not waste it.
Our brain is thinking of all these ideas of all
Yep.
these herbs, everything that I have growing in the yard to be able to
I
have
mean,
all of our
amazing.
spices and herbs and um, not to have to run the dehydrator. And if you freeze dry them, it's supposed to keep the nutrients better and any kind of fruit or anything. And I made a homemade ranch dressing, which I'm going off topic, but homemade powdered ranch dressing
Hmm.
from all the herbs from the garden. And the only thing I didn't have was powdered milk. I
Oh,
had to buy that. And so that would be something. All right, let's
oh,
get back. As far as food goes, um, well, if you don't mind, there's a couple other things that I would like to show people. As far as, do you want to go ahead with the food or
yeah.
for them? Okay, we'll go ahead with the food. So, what I have done, as many other people, this is red chicken stew that I have canned. So that's a whole meal in itself. Along with, I have rice that I have vacuum sealed. I shared that the other day on Facebook, but we don't have a home that is large enough. We live in a little tiny 1,200 square foot home, and it's packed from stem to stern, as you can see, the grandbabies and all those kinds of things fill it up. But I don't have room for those big 5-gallon buckets, and we only have one little shed. We don't have a garage. And so what I do is get a few bags of rice, several bags of rice. I break them up in a serving size. This is 1.5 cups, and vacuum seal them. And then they store straight up and down.
Yep.
Um,
Save space.
Save space. I had someone ask me the other day, how do I keep mice away from that? And I just put them in a cardboard box inside my house. So I don't know for long term storage as far as mice, but I would certainly think they can get through a 5-gallon bucket, but you could potentially put them in like a plastic container of some sort,
Yeah.
seal them in a plastic
Yeah.
container. I'm not sure. Hopefully, they won't be all that scented because they're all sealed. All the air
Yeah.
is out of them. So it wouldn't be something that attracts mice that much.
Yeah. And my thing with everything, even the food saver, dehydrated canning, and the freeze dryer, my plan is to not stock up and have tons of food for the next 25 years. I want to stock up enough food to where we can get through a couple weeks or a couple months, but every year I want to rotate this stuff out. So it's not
Right.
just sitting and get lost. And so I like the freeze dryer because I can just stack the packs,
Yes, Sandy.
or even some things can go in jars and I can keep up
Right.
with it better and rotate it out, because you want to rotate and put the oldest in the front and the newest in the back. That way you don't have, the
That's
wrong
right.
things
That's
just
right.
piling up or being eaten and not see it.
Yeah, and I see Sandy from Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming says, "Stored under beds, in closets, behind couches." That's what we have done.
Yeah.
Underneath all the beds are full, and I have a shelf unit in one of the extra bedrooms that's kind of turned into a pantry. Ooh, the geese have come in the front yard. But this is the 15 bean soup that I did the same thing. And I put the instructions, can't really see them, but the instructions are in there, and oxygen absorbers.
Yeah.
uh, this is for a big family, but if we have a bunch of people, you put a pot of beans on, you can feed some people with a pot
That's
of
right.
beans.
That's right.
Um, and also, not this is not a canon show, but we made this is chicken, carrots, celery, and broth, and it's already got its spices in it. So it's like chicken soup
Hmm.
that we have with some broth and chicken broth, and I didn't add in um, any pasta because you're not supposed to can any kind of pasta or anything.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
could just add rice to it. But I tell you what I did when I did cook it. Old
Noodle.
die-hard ramen noodles.
Oh yeah.
You can add this to it, and it's delicious. Get a cat, you won't have a mouse problem, somebody says. Not sure if anybody can see. Duval, City Girl, I see.
Yeah, we see
I
you
see
too,
your,
y'all.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Homestead in the Wood and Homestead in the Hood is here too. She's like the expert of everything as far as
Yes.
survival goes. Anyway,
Yes.
with food, being able to cook food, you can use one of these Crisco canners, put 2 bricks on either side of it, and then put your pan on top of the bricks.
Yeah.
And the bricks do one trick. You want to remember when you have a glass jar candle, put a saucer or something underneath it.
Because it get hot.
It gets real hot.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know because it gets real hot.
You had to
Really,
find out the hard way.
I did. I did have to find out the hard way. And so, Sherry, is there something else that you wanted? I'm taking over this conversation. I'm so
Um,
sorry.
no, you're doing good. Because it's important, and like I said, to be able to be prepared all the time.
It is
These are little
important.
things you can actually buy two of or multiple of. You can keep one in your car all the time and a little tote. You can keep one in the house. But these are great things, especially now, and the sad part is we really don't think about it until times like now.
That's right. Well, you
So,
know what? Now, before I had my soil family in the YouTube world and the Facebook world, I probably would not have prepared like I'm doing.
yeah.
Um, I mean, yes, the pandemic did teach us all a lot, but the minute that I heard, I have a friend, her name is Jewel Chesson.
Hmm.
She has a weather channel, J7409. J7409. I've talked about her quite a bit. And she gives very accurate weather. Sometimes when you're watching the Weather Channel, Jim Cortell sort of kind of exaggerates things and it drives me insane. But
Hmm.
Jewel from J7409 is she's just an individual, but she studies the weather all day long, every day. She's taken college classes. She has gotten part of her meteorologist degree, and she has direct connections with the National Weather Service and things like that. She's rubbing elbows with the big guys.
Yeah.
And so it's important. And when she calls and says, "Hey, next week we might have some issues,"
You
I make
listen.
sure I have water.
Oh,
I
yeah.
make sure that I have things stocked up
Yeah.
because, like today, you go to the grocery store today, it's going to be crazy town.
Oh, yeah.
Last
Yeah.
week, it was pretty calm. But this is something that I do pick up from the Dollar Tree, and it is at those, it's just a lighter here, but at the Dollar Tree, I don't think they put, I mean, you're getting two for $1.25. I don't think they put as much fluid in them
Yeah. Yeah.
because
And they
they
probably
don't
don't
last.
hold up too well. I noticed some things, Bobby will just crush it, like squeeze it and break it. And I'm like, what did you
Oh,
do
God.
to it? But, it'll get the job done a couple times for him. So something is better than nothing.
Something is better than nothing. And you know what? I just read on this thing, it says it's refillable.
So that's good. Yeah. A lot of them are refillable.
But I don't have, I mean,
The
it's not like
refill.
I have that kind of butane fuel. I need to get some and with a
Yeah.
camper. I never saw that before. I find out a lot on these lives. And also from the Dollar Tree is a little fire starter. It's just it was $1.25. I grabbed some, and the other day I said it says it's good for indoor and outdoor, and I thought I don't want to start a fire inside
And
my house,
I,
but
I don't either.
I thought about fireplaces and
Yeah.
wood stoves.
We never
We
use
do
our
need to be able to
fireplace.
start fires in that.
We never use our fireplace. But yeah, it'll be great for that.
Yeah, because my mindset was I don't want a fire in my house,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's what that's for.
So G
Always
Rose said, I had no idea both of y'all were live. So
Oh
yes,
yeah.
we are streaming to Black's Tropical and Dell Homestead, both on YouTube and Facebook right now. So four places at one time.
4 platforms. And we are
Four
blessed to
platforms.
be able to have the chat. I don't see any kind of numbers or anything, but we are blessed to be able to have the chat where it shows everybody. So I'll have to go back and, hey, Garden State Gardener and LG Homestead. I'm so glad to see everyone. We are
Yes.
reading the comments, G Mama Grows.
Yep.
And we are, because they come in on this thing, they flip in at the top. Do they flip in at the top for you?
They coming in on the side for me.
Oh,
But with
okay.
this, you can, like, I could put the chat where the chat can see the chat. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
I normally don't put that up. I just leave it turned off all the time.
Yeah, well, when people do that, it's lovely, except for I usually watch from my cell phone.
Yeah.
And there is no way in the world of reading that chat on somebody else's screen from your cell
Yeah.
phone. I'm
Yeah.
lucky enough to see their face. So, we're talking about, let's see, this is something as far as cleanliness and hygiene. I constantly, whenever I'm going in a store and I see them, a bin of them for 50, 75 cents, a
Hmm.
dollar, I'll pick up several because more people die after the storm than during the storm. They
Yeah.
die from accidents trying to help clean up and cut down trees and things like that, trying to clean up, and from infected wounds, from spoiled food, from
Yeah.
things like that. It's important to keep your hands, your body clean, because if you get a scratch, just one little scratch can get infected, go septic, and there you are. I mean, it's been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
So that's important. And y'all have all seen these little tabs before, but I'm still going to show you one. I just love them. I'm trying to think of where I have. Well, I'll just use this. I don't have a cup to show you what it looks like, but this jar, these little tabs, I get from Amazon,
Hmm.
and they're hard. They're hard little tabs. I get them from Amazon, and it's called what's the official name of it? Oh no, but it comes like that. It's like washcloths.
Yeah. They like little towelettes.
Towelettes. Thank you. All right, let's see if I can hold this up where y'all can see it. It's supposed to, it says 2 tablespoons of water or something, but if you're short on water, don't do that. And
Yeah.
then, oh, it says it on the top of it. It says towelette.
A little
And
bit
you just,
goes a long way.
yeah, you don't need much.
Yep.
And so if you're short on water, honestly, you really don't need much. And it opens up into, it's like a baby wipe, but stronger.
Yeah. And
And
hygiene is important, in these moments. You definitely have to keep yourself clean and your hands clean. So
yeah, you need to keep your hands clean, and you need to keep your
your bottom clean.
your privates need to be clean, because you can get yourself very, very sick
Oh
not
yeah.
keeping your body clean. It can
Yeah.
really and spread. That disease can spread. So that's that. And I only have one more item in my arsenal here. Is there something that you wanted to show, or do you want me to go ahead with this?
You can go ahead. I didn't
Okay.
bring
All
anything
right.
in.
Okay, that's okay. I've been called the prop lady, because I'm a visual learner. I I like to see something in my hands.
Hmm.
Hey, lazy taste head. I like to see something in my hands. I like to be able to show it so that we can actually have a physical thing to talk about. Oh gosh, how did you miss this unannounced live? It was announced. It was announced on 4 channels, Jesse.
Just 4.
Just
But we didn't
4.
set it up until last night, so
Yes, and you know what? He's everywhere. All hard to think when you're itching broke for. That's
exactly.
okay,
Exactly.
y'all. I am awful without my coffee. Absolutely a horrible human being without my coffee. One of the first preps I bought was a way to make myself some coffee in the morning. So I have this filter. It's real teeny tiny little holes, so I won't have to drink coffee grounds.
Mhm.
And it is called Coffee Filter. And it has this little thing, the bottom. You snap it on there. I think it was Kettle Kitchen that said I was the prop queen, but I don't mind that name. You set it on top of your coffee cup,
Broke
put your
farmer.
coffee in there. Yeah, Brooke Farmer. That's right. He's drinking coffee with me this morning. And then you pour your hot water in there, your boiling water, and it seeps down into the holes, and you have your hot coffee. And then I can be a nice human being again. Send you back to the farm. But it stores really well, and I feel a little more secure knowing that I could make myself a cup of coffee if I
Oh
wanted.
yeah. Oh, and it's a lot of people in this world that they have to have their coffee. So that's an important thing. For
It
brain power,
is.
it is very important. If you need it, you need it. Some things we know that we can do without, but that coffee is very important for a lot of people. So that's a cute little gadget to make
It
sure
it
that you have.
really, yeah. I just, I mean, I know that about myself
Yeah.
that I'm not functional, or I mean, I'm barely coherent as it is. And you take away my coffee, and it's really bad. Got to lead me around by the hand. So,
Yes. I have to have my tea, can't drink coffee. Yeah, and it'll
and tea
still
will
serve the.
work.
Yeah. Yep.
Tea will work in here, even like if you have your loose tea or your
Hmm.
tea bags, any of that. Tea, your loose tea would work in here. You're headed up
Yeah.
to Georgia. Okay.
I'll watch
Um,
the rest
uh,
later.
all right. And Sunday and Tia and Jesse from Lazy Days.
Gotta have that coffee.
Yeah. Have a great day, Sandy. Thank you for being here. Sandy from Suburban Homestead, or Wyoming, Arizona.
Oh, we appreciate you, Suburban Homesteader. And she said she was tuning in on both channels. So
Oh,
we
really?
are streaming from we are streaming using Restream today. And we are streaming to 4 platforms, 2 on Facebook and 2 on YouTube, both being Black Tropical Homestead and Andel Homestead, because we thought this was a very important conversation and good to, it's like a refresher course.
Right.
It's making you think about things that you may not think about because the subject matter.
That's right.
Because you hear that?
But I don't hear much.
Huh?
That I
I
don't
was
hear
saying,
much.
you don't hear that? Some noise I can hear, but it may be just me hearing it.
Atari noise,
Mm,
somebody says. Is that me?
yeah, it stopped. Whatever it was, it stopped. But yeah, we just wanted to bring awareness, and no okra is here, and have a refresher course so that we
Yeah,
can
we're
all
glad to
be
see you,
prepared
Sandy.
all the time.
Yeah. Has the noise stopped now?
Yeah, I think it stopped. I don't hear it anymore now.
I think it might be something. I moved my equipment around. I think there may be a loose connection in this microphone that I have.
Yeah, I
You
thought it
hear
was
it?
mine. Yeah, it stopped.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all, because that's irritating. And usually, when I'm listening to all of my family here, I have earbuds on and I have you in my pocket, walking
So
all over the garden, doing all my chores and everything. And when those
it's
noises come, it's like, whoa, it tears your ears all to pieces.
yeah, yeah. But we want y'all to definitely think about all the natural disasters that can occur: hurricanes, tornadoes, snow, ice, just a bad storm,
Right.
earthquakes. You know,
Yeah.
you
Dawn said
want
she
to
just
make
got,
sure, yeah, a small
Dawn said she
earthquake.
had some earthquakes. Yep.
Yep. And you never know, you can never say, oh, it'll never snow here. I remember it snowed here a couple years ago. And I think Sandy was about 104, maybe.
Oh, my
And I
goodness.
opened the window so she could see it. She said, well, where are we? I said, we are in Savannah, Georgia. She said, snow? I was like, yeah, snow. And it snowed to the point where the city was shut down. So, you know, is it possible for people to say
Like,
it
dang.
doesn't snow here, so I don't have to get prepared for it? Yeah, people say it
Oh,
all the
my
time.
goodness.
So you never know, but you definitely want to be prepared for anything.
Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, you live and learn, but there are things, it's just to make life more comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, I understand having more solar generators. They're awesome. We don't have a big solar generator. We have a gas generator. Oh, look at you. That is
I will say,
fantastic.
look, I said I didn't bring it in, but the box is here. Bobby tote this thing around everywhere. Wherever we go, we take it with us. Even through the house, he'll take it outside if we outside. He take it in the living room. It's in the bedroom. It's in the kitchen. So he took this thing around everywhere. But it's
See?
a lifesaver,
That's
and it stay
that's great.
charged for days. And it is solar.
Okay.
It is
Huh?
solar. So we do.
I was going
It's
to
solar.
say,
We do have a solar panel for it.
all right. So when we go to the Soil Family Expo on April the 1st of 2023,
Oh
you'll be
yeah.
having your solar energizer power pack, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He carried that thing everywhere. And the Energizer Bobby. So this
That's
was
right.
I see Fallen
Soil
Arkansas
Sister
asking
says,
me. We
yeah,
have the solar panel too, which I'm not
there
gonna
you go.
open. This thing is huge and heavy. But this was a gift from Led Farmer. He sent Bobby this thing a
Oh,
couple months ago. And
that's very nice.
it's a blessing. Bobby
Well, it was kind of
absolutely
a,
loved it.
you guys, you helped him as well, and bunnies and all kinds of stuff, and
Yeah.
so that was very kind of him
Yeah.
to be able to do
Community.
that for you.
Community.
That's right,
We all look
community.
out for each other.
Right, right.
So it's a blessing.
Yep. Now, you had mentioned once before that maybe it was in the private area, private chat. I don't know, not private area. That didn't sound right, but when we do have so many people that are moving from so many areas. Once recently, I went out to Chicago to a niece's wedding, and they were all going, "You're from North Carolina? How do you deal with those hurricanes? How in the world? I would rather live in Chicago any day." Now, for me, living in Chicago would be very difficult
Yes.
because it's freezing, 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 freezing. I
Freezing
am
and
not.
windy.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm supposed to go to Florida next week for a conference. Are you saying that I shouldn't go? Oh,
Well, I don't know if next
next
week
week.
Florida may not be open, but the storm
Yeah,
would have
you'll know.
passed.
Yeah, you'll know. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, as long as they have electricity and
Yeah.
water and your motel is, yeah, North Carolina, stand up. we, you know, as long as they're still capable, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
David Hunt. That's David Hunt being the note Okra
Yeah.
man.
just
And
definitely stay, look out for what's going on in Florida, because this storm could potentially change things for months for Florida. So you want to see what's going on, and
hey,
if
Gigi,
they can operate the way they need to for you to come down. So just
that's
keep your eyes.
right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And
But go ahead.
so,
You were talking about traveling or moving around.
no, I mean, it's just that there's so many people for you live somewhere for a while and you prepare for that region,
Hmm.
and then you move, and what works for one region does not work for
For
another
another.
region.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it is, we do have resources that are out there. There are emergency kits, emergency plans. It's important, no matter how well prepared you are, if a tree falls through your house, you need to know where your emergency shelters are, what shelter is closest to you, what they allow. Do they allow pets? What
Yes.
do you need to bring? Do they provide cots, or do you need to bring your own bedding? Are they going to feed you, or do you need to bring your own food? Because
Yeah.
some shelters just provide the building
Yep.
and
That's it.
that's it.
That's it.
So all of those things are very important to be able to
Yeah.
learn the area.
Yeah. And you cannot you can't
Thank
just
you.
say, oh, I see what's going on there, or I've heard this, that, and you have to do a deep dive, especially when you move in or traveling there for long periods of time. Because even me, being from Virginia, I know what the weather is in Virginia. And because I'm used to Savannah, warm weather now, if I go to Virginia in October, which I did one time before, with flip flops and summer clothes, I had to go
Yes, you
shopping.
did.
I had to go shopping because
Yeah.
I was not ready for that. And I'm like, oh man, what was I thinking?
Right. I should have planned.
I, sh- I should have planned. What? No sneakers or anything. So you always want to be prepared for anything,
Well,
because
just,
it
I
can be
mean,
dangerous.
it's not like you got to take a college class, but it is important to check out the weather forecast in the
Yeah.
area to just see, what the temperatures are going to be,
Hmm.
what the storm may. I'm planning to be at Noka Okra in Florida
And Florida,
next week. So it's the following David on is the
after the
following
storm.
week, right? You
Yeah.
should be okay. I stay in
Yeah.
Jersey in the summer, Florida in the winter, San Diego in the fall, and the Caribbean in the spring. Woo! And then they say, okay,
Joking
one could
around.
wish. That's Garden State Garden. Yeah, he says, one could wish. I totally get it,
Yeah.
Coach
But
Joe.
another
I
thing,
totally get it.
I hear Bobby, and I appreciate him for so many things, because some things you don't think about, when preparing for these storms. It's just, let me make sure I got food, water, and if I need clothes to be warm, or blankets and medicine. But
Right,
most people don't think about safety.
right.
And coming from Bobby, as a police officer, he think about safety, and a
Right,
man, you know, a man's
right.
thing is safety. So he always talk about how a lot of people won't evacuate, not because they don't want to evacuate, it's because that's a big moment, and be destructive, come in your house. And so a lot of people
Yes.
will stay just so they can come in. And think about it, if they don't know if you're there or not, or if they don't care, they'll come in, and
Yeah.
they could potentially harm or hurt you. So
I'll see you later,
you have to be
JGH.
prepared
Yes, you do, for security. Yeah,
for
you do have to
security.
be. You have to be prepared for security, because there are people that will, I mean, most of us would gladly share, but not everything. And there are
Yeah.
people that their sole goal is to come and take. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you definitely want to be prepared for that too. and not think that because it's dark, nobody come in, they don't know the layout of my house. Well, just be prepared. Know how to
That's right.
protect yourself and keep your ears and your eyes open. Even when your eyes closed, keep your ears open.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So,
Well, this has
but
been great, Sherry.
yes, I can't think of anything else, but we definitely want to pray that everyone stay aware and be prepared because we don't
Yes,
want y'all to be caught off guard and look out for each other. You may have neighbors that can't prepare the way you can, but definitely always think about somebody else while you preparing. Get an extra just in case you can help somebody out. So
right. Right. That's right. So that, I mean, we're all in this together. We look
yeah.
after each other
Oh
and
yeah.
we have our team. And not everybody is a team player, but
That's right. That's right.
we
Some
try
people
to
come
pick
on your
our
team
team.
just for the benefits, but they don't want to, help. If we
Yes.
all pull together and move in the same direction, we can all be better. But every now and then you get that one or few team members that want to pull the opposite way. But I
Yeah,
always
that's
say
okay.
their arms are too short to box with God, so we
That's
just keep
right.
it moving.
There we go. That's great. That's great.
Yes. Well, I thank you. I sure appreciate you for
Thank you, Sherry, for
doing this
inviting
collaboration
me.
this morning.
It was a wonderful idea. When you called and asked and invited me to come, I was thinking that is fabulous. And the more an added benefit is being able to have your channel, my channel, both YouTube and Facebook, to be able to, what's important is not us, not you and I. What's important is the information that we can potentially share that someone might be able to use
Yeah.
to move out. And, I just think it's great.
Yes, and I know we didn't cover everything, but we covered a
No.
lot. At
Yeah.
least give you some things to think about, and feel free to leave in the comments how you prepare for storms, or leave other tips and tricks that you have learned, because we are all from different places and we learn so many things. So definitely give us more tips so that we can all implement what we need and think about different things. Fires, I left out fires out west. It's a thing. It's a thing, but
Yeah.
we've never had those issues to have to worry about them. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean we would never have to. So
Right.
it's great.
That's right. That's right. Fires don't come to our mind because we're not in an area of fires, and it's
Yep.
foremost in other people's because they deal with it all the time.
Yes. All right. So I'm not going to hold y'all up anymore today. But again, we appreciate y'all for everything, all the thumbs up and views from all the different
Yes.
platforms, and
Get
your
those thumbs
words of
up, y'all.
encouragement, your tips, and your stories, because they mean something to us to read and to
Yes,
hear
they
your
do.
stories too. So we definitely appreciate y'all from Black's Tropical and from the land of plenty and their
Yes,
homestead.
that's
Y'all
right.
have a blessed day and a
Yes.
fabulous week, and don't let nobody steal your joy.
Woo!